Hey everybody, it's tafony here once again, and today I'm rambling about Noise Engineering Loquelic Iteritas. It is a digital complex oscillator, 10 HP for Eurorack. I am super excited to try this one out. We've been on a marathon on the channel of sorts of complex oscillators, so I'm really excited to try out a digital one today and see. I want to call this a noise engineering deep cut because I don't see anyone ever talk about it for some reason, and I want to see why that is. So, with that being said, let's jump right into it and get the quick housekeeping out of the way. So I'm not affiliated with Noise Engineering. They didn't send this to me. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. This is just my own thoughts, my own opinions, my own ramblings. I am borrowing this one from my friend who asked not to be named. However, you do not get to escape being thanked. So thank you so much for lending this to me. I really appreciate it. I'm almost at 100 of these stupid videos, so I'm quickly running out of things to cover and to trade and to do. So thank you so much. This is so timely for the complex oscillator marathon that I have been on recently. So thank you. I'm stoked to check it out. But that being said, this isn't journalism. This isn't a review. This isn't an assessment. This isn't a demonstration. This isn't anything like that. I'm trying to basically be like a Eurorack podcast of sorts, I guess. I just want to ramble and talk and discover and have some fun with the Loquelic on camera with you here today. And maybe we can both learn something about it that is interesting. I'm just trying to talk about my experiences in hardware, Eurorack, synthesizers, music in general. So with all that being said, more importantly than all of that, it sounds like this. Loquelic Iteritas. It is something I don't hear people talk about too much, and I'm curious why that is. I hope it's not because it's not very good, which I have doubts that is the reason. I don't know. Maybe it's not as sexy as the new Aliyah 10 HP noise engineering modules. So I guess let's find out. So jumping in the panel here, this is digital, as I said before, and a lot of people who I've talked to about it, not that I've read online, but people I know are like, yeah, like digital complex oscillator, I want the analog version, but I'm hoping that that's going to allow us some more craziness and more nastiness than maybe their analog counterparts are. We'll see. But also with that comes 3 algorithms that are quite different and change the functions of the panel. So in some ways, yes, that is awesome because it's more versatile. It has 3 distinct modes, but it also makes it a little confusing because the morph mode, the modulate mode, the fold mode I think is always the same, and same for the damp, but these controls do different things in different modes, right? So we're going to go through the 3 modes right here, and I'll give you the first overview of the panel quick. Usually in complex oscillators there is a modulator and a carrier, but I think in Loquelic it's a little different depending on the algorithm, and let's find out for sure. But just like most complex oscillator, there's an A oscillator and a B oscillator, coarse and fine tune, and interesting here the fine tune is just as big as the coarse tune knob. It's not something you see very often, but yeah, that is the pitch knobs. Then there's this morph knob. And in the first, well, you know what, hold on, I'm going to get to that in a second. So there's your morph knob, there's the wave folder, yes, and I think the wave folder actually changes based on the algorithm too, if I'm not mistaken, but let's discover that too. Modulate knob, and then damp is like a tone control. I think this helps to, if you get really crazy, you can sort of smooth things out to contain it a bit. And yeah, outputs, there's pitch inputs, I should say here. Pitch control over A and B. There is CV control over the morph mod, the fold, the modulate, and the damp. So also sync. And apparently in some older versions of this one, there actually isn't a sync input. So, or maybe that's an output. I think that's an input. Anyway, we're not going to be using that one today. We're just going to run through the other stuff. But, you know, pretty simple. And I am hoping that that will make some of these like super complex synthesis things a little easier, hopefully. Let's hope. So that being said, let's jump into the first algorithm, which is labeled as VO, which is based off the VOSIM algorithm, which is, well, here, I'm just going to read from the manual. It says the VO algorithm is roughly based off the VOSIM algorithm, which I discovered while reading Curtis Rhodes's epic microsounds. This algorithm amplitude modulates a carrier by an exponential to create a more complex harmonic structure. The simplest carrier is a sinusoid, which produces a spectrum with a Gaussian distribution centered on the carrier. More complicated waveforms produce Gaussians around each harmonic, producing spectra similar to comb filter noise. So, pitch A is the fundamental of the carrier, and pitch B is the retrigger frequency of the exponential decay. Wow, that's a doozy. Okay, so controls. Morph changes the waveform of oscillator A. So we got sinus on the left, and then as we bring it up, it gets more saw-y. We like our saw. I'm just going to demonstrate it, and while I'm very tempted to stick to the saw, let's bring it back to center just to show. Damp sets the decay constant on oscillator B relative to its period. Well, interesting, so yeah. Okay, so ignore what I said about the tone control, because yes, it works like a tone control, but I believe this is going to be different on every single algorithm, so we get more square wavy. We get more sinusy on the right. Yeah. That's the damp. We'll bring that up to the middle again. And we got our mod. So phase modulates oscillator A by oscillator B. So let's bring in that. And then if we... Yes. Yes. No filter on this or anything, right? So... Oh. You hear a little something? Yes. Anyway, fold sets the wavefold threshold on the final wave folder. Oh, that sounds great, the wave folder. Very digital, but very nice. Okay. Let's go. Take our fold back down, take our damp back up to 0, take our morph back. Changing the master, I think you can reverse. I wish there was individual outputs on this only to... Hello. Only because I want to see individually what's going on, what the core of the first and second are. Ooh, if you put it in the middle too, ooh, it's moving. We got some motion. Yes. And I have a feeling these are all going to be very easy to explore. By easy, I mean, like, easy to get lost in. So let's switch to the second one. This is the SS. This is a, as they describe it, algorithm SS is a highly modified version of the summation synthesis, originally developed by James Moorer. The premise comes from a simple mathematical equality between an infinite harmonic series and a relatively easy to compute expression. Well, it doesn't sound very easy to me, but there is a huge mathematical thing on the manual, which I will not be reading. This equation allows a wide variety of musical spectra to be produced by only two parameters. Loquelic Iteritas generalizes the sinusoidal terms into multi-waveform oscillators. Two of these track the two input pitches, while the third tracks the difference of the two pitches and adds a wavefolder for more harmonics. In the equation, oscillator A is the left sinusoidal and term. In the numerator, oscillator B, and this is the sine in the equation, oscillator A is the left sinusoidal term. In the numerator, oscillator B is the sinusoidal term in the denominator. Wow, I did not expect a bunch of equations to be on the screen here, but here we go. So morph changes the waveform of all oscillators. Let's hear it. You got some like supersaw in there. Oh, you got some bass in the other end though. Switching between the master. Some like feedback in. FM, modulate. Wavefold. So mod, it says phase modulates oscillator A by oscillator B. So if we crank that up, yes. There's that real phase mod. Yes. And then fold sets the wavefold threshold of the final wavefolder. And then damp sets the parameter in the equality. This controls the generated spectra with higher values producing higher power harmonics. I feel like this is so crazy. We need to rein it in to hear that, so fold. Damp. Morph. That's mod. Morph. Crazy. I do love the digital chaos. Ooh, hello. This is totally dry too, right? Chaos. Can we get back to a sine wave? Yeah. Yes. All right. Last one. PM's got to be phase mod, right? PM algorithm is a naive is that naive? No, naive. Time domain between two oscillator phase modulation implementation that combines both oscillators with amplitude modulation. Okay, again, I hope you know what this all means because it's way above my pay grade. Let's bring that in. So we have morph, change the waveform of both oscillators. Damp blends between an oscillator A and B through amplitude modulation, so you do get a little bit of squareness going on in the middle. I wonder how that changes as you morph it too, right? Again, this is infinitely... You'll never demonstrate everything because how many different combinations are there, but I will show the mod phase modulates the oscillators by each other. See how you hit dead spots, right? Right, there's one. And then fold sets the wavefold. The final threshold, same as the other three. Yes. Now, I've read enough people telling me what I misspoke on the assimilator video to know that there's a lot of depth to things like the sample rate, the aliasing, the relative modulation to the sample rate when you increase the pitch on digital phase modulated oscillators like that, to know that I should not be talking about it at all. But just know that I think there's a lot of depth here if you're into minutia like that, that is way above my head. But yeah, it's all on board here. Let's go back into VO. I think this might be my favorite of them all. It just feels a little more rich in the low end. I mean, these are nice and nasty too, but yes. All right, let's use these. For real, for real. Into a ladder filter. Yes. And then, I mean, this is about as far from Buchla as you can get, but let's throw this into the steady state gate. Just for fun, now let's send it a sequence, just for fun. Now I know there's a bunch of different controls here in terms of what you can do to send a pitch, but let's find out here. If we send it to A, which is our current master, which is what I believe we want to do, and patch the gates into the output there. Just generate sequence, send it. See, I think these pitch knobs aren't necessarily carrier and modulator. So that's the VL, let's go to SS. Ooh. Yes, liquid. Yeah. And then phase mod. And I think what you're hearing there is the difference between the two oscillators. So if I switch this to middle, yeah, that wave folder sounds really nice. And I heard a lot of people complaining about the digital wave folder, and I like it. I don't know. Am I tasteless? Well, you already know the answer to that. Okay, let's go and do some drums. Yeah. I really dig it. Let's go back to VO. What happens if I switch to... Oops, sorry, wrong output. If I control the B oscillator? Oh, like metallic. Wow, that's digital. I love it. Wow, versatile. So versatile. You know what, let's run this into... Sorry, we gotta run this into a little bit of reverb, I'd say. And that'll make it huge, and that can play us out. So, what do you think of Loquelic? I think that is deadly. I really do. And I'm curious if you're hearing this and just thinking, yeah, it's really nice, but a lot of this ground is covered by the other noise engineering, the classic BIA or Manus or whatnot, then let me know, because it's been a minute since I've tried either of those, so let's bring in the reverb. You think there's some FM bill on there, eh? Switch algorithms. All right, I really like Loquelic. If these digital sounds are for you, then you could probably find something even better than what I have going on. That can be pretty too. All right, I'm Tafony. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.